Forward march!
Have you ever heard of a king who was a poet, a musician, a painter, an architect, and a fierce warrior all rolled into one? A ruler who could compose a symphony one day and lead an army into battle the next. This isn't a character from a fantasy novel. This was a real king who ruled in South India over 1,400 years ago. His name was Mahendravarman I, a king of the Pallava Dynasty, and his story is one of the most fascinating in Indian history. Imagine a time when South India was a vibrant tapestry of competing kingdoms. The Chalukyas to the north, the Pandyas and Cholas to the south, vying for supremacy. Into this world, around the year 571, a prince was born who would change everything. His reign, which began around the year 600, wasn't just about battles and conquests, although there were plenty of those. It was about a cultural revolution. This was a king who picked up a chisel and, instead of carving a weapon, carved entire temples out of solid rock. Before him, temples were built with brick, wood, and mortar. But Mahendravarman looked at the granite hills of his kingdom and saw something more. He saw halls of worship, pillars, and giant sculptures waiting to be freed from the stone. These weren't just buildings. They were masterpieces. The rock-cut temples of Mahabalipuram, Mandegapattu, and Trichy that still stand today are a testament to his incredible vision. The inscription at his first cave temple in Mandegapattu proudly declares that he built this temple for the gods without using brick, timber, metal, or mortar. A true innovator. But his talents didn't stop there. He was a celebrated author and playwright. He wrote a famous satirical play called Matavilasa Prahasana, which humorously pokes fun at the hypocrisy he saw in certain religious sects. Imagine a king in the 7th century writing comedy. It shows a ruler with a sharp intellect, a keen sense of observation, and a brilliant sense of humor. He was also a patron of music and is believed to have invented a new type of veena, a stringed instrument. He was given titles like Chitrakara, Puli, the tiger among artists, and Vichitratita, the curious-minded one. These weren't just flattering titles, they were earned. For the first 30 years of his reign, from 600 to 630, peace and art flourished under his rule. His kingdom, with its capital at Kanchipuram, became a hub of culture and learning. But this golden age was about to be shattered. The storm was coming from the north. The powerful Chalukyan king, Pulakshin II, one of the most formidable conquerors of his time, had his eyes set on the Pallava kingdom. Around the year 630, Pulakshin II launched a massive invasion. The Chalukyan army swept down, conquering territories and marching relentlessly towards the Pallava capital, Kanchipuram. This was the ultimate test for the artist king. Could the man who wrote plays and composed music stand against one of history's greatest military generals? The Chalukyan records claim a great victory, suggesting they pushed Mahendravarman back to the very walls of his capital. The Battle of Pular, fought near Kanchipuram, was a turning point. It was a brutal, hard-fought battle. While Chalukyan inscriptions boast of victory, the fact that they couldn't capture Kanchipuram tells a different story. Mahendravarman, the curious-minded king, proved he was also a lion on the battlefield. He successfully defended his capital, halting the seemingly unstoppable Chalukyan advance. He might have lost some northern territories, but he saved his kingdom from being completely overrun. This war had a profound effect on him. It's believed that during this turbulent period, Mahendravarman, who initially followed Jainism, converted to Shaivism, the worship of Lord Shiva. This conversion was influenced by the Saint Apar. This shift wasn't just a personal change, it was reflected in the temples he built. His later rock-cut temples were dedicated to Shiva, marking a new phase in the religious and artistic landscape of the region. Mahendravarman's life was a testament to the idea that a ruler could be both a creator and a protector. a man of peace and a man of war. He laid the foundation for the architectural marvels that his son, Narasimhavarman I, would later build at Mahabalipuram, a UNESCO World Heritage Site today. The famous shore temples and the giant rock reliefs that tourists from all over the world come to see owe their origin to the vision of Mahendravarman. When Mahendravarman passed away around the year 630, he left behind a kingdom that was not only militarily resilient, but also culturally richer than ever before. He left behind a legacy carved in stone, written on palm leaves, and etched into the very soul of South Indian culture. He showed that art and literature were not just pastimes for a king, but were essential expressions of a civilization's greatness. His son, Narasimhavarman I, would inherit his father's courage and artistic spirit. He would not only continue his father's architectural projects, but would also avenge the Pallava defeat. He would later march north, defeat Palakshan II, and even capture the Chalukyan capital, Vatapi, earning the title Vatapakanda, the conqueror of Vatapi. But that's a story for another time. Today, we remember Mahendravarman I not just as a king who fought wars, but as Vichitrachita, the curious-minded innovator, the tiger among artists who saw temples hidden in mountains, the playwright king who found humor in the human condition. His reign was a brief but brilliant chapter in Indian history, a time when the chisel was as mighty as the sword. And a king's greatest legacy was the beauty he left behind for generations to admire. So next time you see a picture of the magnificent rock-cut temples of South India, remember the king who started it all. Mahendravarman I, the multi-talented monarch who proved that the heart of a poet and the hand of an artist could belong to one of India's greatest kings. His story reminds us that true power lies not just in conquering lands, but in creating a legacy that inspires and endures through the centuries. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey back in time, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next historical adventure. See you in the next video.